Good morning, my dear students. I hope you all are fit and happy. So, dear students, in this video, we are going to study the classification of bryophytes. So, in your syllabus, you need to learn about liverworts and mosses. So, these two classes of bryophytes are there in your syllabus. So, let us start with the general introduction about bryophytes. As we have already discussed in the previous video that the bryophytes, they are non-vascular plants, means they do not have xylem and phloem to transport water and food. Therefore, these plants, they do not attain a large height since they lack vascular tissues and their body is thallus-like. They do not have true leaf, true stem and true root, but they have leaf-like, stem-like and root-like structure. So that is, their body is thallus. So body is thallus means they have leaf-like, stem-like and root-like structure, but true leaf, stem, root, these are absent. So let us see the classification of bryophytes. So in your syllabus, first one is liverwort, then is mosses. So there are two classes of bryophytes, Hepaticopsida and Bryopsida. Hepaticopsida, it is also referred to as liverwort, and here you will learn the example of Mertensia, and in Bryopsida or mosses you have to learn the example of Funaria. So two classes of bryophytes which are there in your syllabus, they are Hepaticopsida and Bryopsida. So let us study first of all with the liverworts. They are found in moist and shady habitat, in the damp soil, in the bark of trees and even in the deep inside the wood. So Mertensia, it is the most common example of liverwort, and the body is dorsoventrally flattened, means from the dorsal side and from the ventral side the body is flattened, leaf like flattened. And the root like structure, they are referred to as rhizoids, and these rhizoids, they are unicellular, single cell. So this is the important feature in liverwort, that rhizoids are unicellular. However, in mosses you will learn about that the rhizoids, they are multicellular, and there may be leafy thallus also. The leafy thallus means there will be tiny leaf-like appendages in two rows. So tiny leaf-like appendages in two rows on the stem-like structure. So some of the members may have leafy thallus as well. So dear students, let us know their reproduction. Asexual reproduction occurs by formation of gamma or by fragmentation. So now let us learn what is this gamma. So on the thallus there will be a formation of a cup-like structure on its surface, and this cup-like structure will be born on both in male as well as in female gametophyte. So this cup-like structure, it is referred to as gamma cup. Inside the gamma cup there is a outgrowth that is referred to as gamma bud. And since you know, my dear student, the main dominant body in bryophyte, it is gametophyte, that is haploid body, and this gamma cup, it is also formed by mitosis, therefore it is also haploid structure. This gamma cup, they have gamma buds, and these gamma buds ultimately germinates into new thallus, and when they are dispersed by water. So in sexual reproduction you need to remember that the sexes, they are separate. So we are doing here the example of Mertensia. So in Mertensia the sexes are separate, that is Mertentius dioecious. So let us see how sexual reproduction takes place. So dear students, if the vegetative thallus it bears a branch that is referred to as archegoniophore, it means it is a female gametophyte. So archegoniophore, it is a branch which will bear the female sex organ, that is archegonium, inside which there is a egg. So female gametophyte, it will bear archegonium. However, the male gametophyte, it will bear antheridophore. And this antheridophore branch-like structure, it will bear at the top and antheridium, which is the male sex organ. So in the male sex organ, it will produce the antherozoid, which are male gametes. So let us see how the sexual reproduction take place. So here is the female gametophyte, and this has archegonium, and this archegonium, it will bear the female sex organ. And this is the male gametophyte, and it has antheridium, and it will bear the male gametes, that is known as antherozoids. So when the fertilization has to take place, these male gametes, that is antherozoid, move towards the archegonium and will enter inside it and will fuse with the egg. And ultimately, both this antheridium and archegonium, which are haploid, they have produced the gametes by mitosis. Therefore, the gametes are also haploid. On fusion of male gamete and female gamete, both are haploid, there will be diploid structure formed that will be referred to as zygote. And this zygote, it is diploid, and it will undergo mitosis and will form multicellular sporophyte. This sporophyte, it is non-green, it is dependent on the gametophyte for its food. And this sporophyte basically has three parts, that is upper part capsule, then there is a neck portion, that is setae, and foot. This sporophyte, it will produce spores. So inside the capsule there will be formation of the spores by meiosis, and these spores, they will germinate and will give rise to gametophyte. So dear students, you need to know that the liverworts, they have dorsoventrally thallus, and there is formation of antheridophore and archegoniophore, which are the basically branches which will be bearing the male and the female sex organ. That is, male sex organ, it is referred to as antheridium, and female sex organ referred to as archegonium. And vegetative reproduction takes place by gamma formation, by gamma cup formation. So this is all for today. Take care everyone.